so that you have more space to move. And begin to rock front and back on the feet, just connecting to all four corners of both feet. And then find a slight bend in the knees. You might even rock up and down a little bit, checking that your knees aren't locked out. And then open the heart, palms face forward, slightly tuck the chin towards the chest. So you have a long line from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. And then take a big breath in through the nose. Let it go with the sigh. Do that 2 more times. Big breath in through the nose. And then just let it go audibly. Big release. Bring hands to the heart, and if there's a prayer or intention that you'd like to set for this practice, I invite you to see it resting at your heart center. And trust that because you can see it, it is already a part of your reality. Take a full breath in and out of that intention. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Hands to the ground or hands to shins to halfway rise. Slight bend in the knees. And then forward fold. Hands to opposite elbows. If your hamstrings are tight, you can spread the feet a little wider and sway side to side. And if you still have more tension to release, you can shake it out of the mouth like so. And then release hands to the ground, halfway rise. Step back to plank. Hold high plank. Squeeze through the thighs. Pull the ribs together, navel to spine. And then lower the knees. We're going to start with the low plank chaturanga, elbows into the body, halfway rise. Rise up for cobra, so keep the elbows slightly bent, keep the knees down, open the heart. On your exhale, find a downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths here. This will be enough time to walk your dog out, maybe rock the hips side to side. You can come back to those audible breaths of release if you like. And then after your 5 rounds, use your exhale to step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway rise. See if you can keep your hands planted down. And so bend your knees as much as you need to. Spread your feet as much as you need to plant the hands as you halfway rise. Open the heart. And then forward fold from the pelvis, not from the navel. Inhale, rise up, back to that Tadasana. And that intention, hands to the heart. Palms by the side. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, forward fold. 1 more round of sunset leg. Halfway rise, plant the hands. Step back to plank, high plank. Once again, squeeze in, squeeze through the thighs. Squeeze through the abdominals. Really pull navel to spine. Almost like you're gonna begin to shake. And so my intention for this practice for y'all is that you find a natural shake in order to release what you no longer need. That's what animals do. For example, if 2 ducks get in a fight in the pond, usually, or most likely, you would see them fighting, quarreling, and then they might swim apart and shake it off, and then they'll both forget it. And so that's what we can do with our bodies. Allow it to shake so that we can release what we don't really need to hold on to. Find a chaturanga. This time upward facing, knees lifted, open the heart. Downward facing dog. Ooh, that down dog feels good after a long plank. Just 1 breath in and out here. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, jump, feet to hands. Halfway rise, forward fold. Again, halfway rise. This time, walk hands under feet so that palms are facing up. Toes are at the inside of the wrist. Again, bend the knees, spread the feet as much as you need to to reach that. And then wiggle the toes a little bit. So massaging right around the wrist crease. Stretching through the front of the forearms. And then release, rise all the way up to your mountain. Hands down, heart center. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Walk the big toes together. Find just an inch space between the heels. Sit low, but keep tall in the spine. Take one more breath in. Forward fold. Halfway rise, plant the hands. You can watch me if you want to, or just jump back, but you can jump back with elbows bent, chaturanga. Or just step back, find plank. Upward facing, downward facing. So the deal with that jump back to elbows bent is we don't want to jar through the shoulders. So we bend through our elbows, so we're using our muscles rather than our joints. Lift the right leg up to the sky, rotate the right right ankle in both directions. And then big breath in, lift that leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, cheetah. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, step through, warrior one, feet wide. Arms lift up along the ears. Clasp hands behind you. Lift heart up to the sky. Fold forward, humble warrior, 3 breaths. Let the head be heavy. And breathe in and out of the nose. Release the hands, the left hand on the inside of the right foot. Come into a twist from this warrior one. So keeping that back foot flat, right arm lifts up, twisting from the navel. So rinsing clean from your body what you no longer need. And then from here, pay attention, we're coming onto a plank on the left side. Keep the left hand planted. You might need to reposition to come through. Now you can keep, I'm gonna switch around so you can see where I'm going. You can come to a full plank, or you can choose to keep that right foot on the ground for support. Or you can stack right foot on top of left. Take just one more breath wherever you're choosing to be. And then bring right hand to left, find a chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing. Take a big breath in through the nose. Let it go. Left foot lifts, rotate the left ankle. Other direction. Pause, inhale, lift that leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to rise. Exhale, warrior one. Lift the arms up, open through the front of the body. Clasp hands, this time opposite direction. Lift the heart up, and then fold forward. 3 breaths. If you haven't already found your ujjayi, see about finding it now. Constricting the base of the throat so that the whole breath soothes the nervous system as you're in this movement flow. Release hands, rise up halfway, plant the right hand on the inside of the left foot. If you have a block, you can use that block, bringing the ground up to you. Left arm lifts up. And even if you're using the block, you can keep that hand in the block to transition to the side plank. So go ahead and find it now. On the outside edge of that right foot, left foot can stay planted on the mat, or you can stack it. Take 2 breaths. Maybe you're shaking a little bit. That's good. Release left hand down, chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing. Big breath in. Let it go. Inhale. Exhale, jump, feet to hands. Halfway rise. Forward fold. Rise all the way up, mountain pose, hands to the heart. Come back to that intention. Back to that place where you trust your direction. You trust your intention. And then again, Utkatasana. This time we're gonna find a little twist from our chair pose. So see how right now the knees are in line? That means the hips are in line. We wanna keep that as we twist to the right. Outside of the left arm on the outside of the right thigh. You can also just bring palms on the right thigh if the knees don't stay in line. So we want those knees to stay in line. Now, begin to get light on your left foot. So standing solely on your right foot. Take a breath in. Use your exhale to step left foot back. High lunge twist. Okay, cool thing. You can stay here, hands at prayer. Or you can open the arms up. You can bring a block on the outside of the foot if you need. Plant the hand down. And let's rotate through that right shoulder. If your arms are extended, that is. 3, 2, 1. And then bring both hands down. Left hand is now on the inside of the left foot. Come back through into that plank. On the hand. Now, if you have wrist issues, you can come onto the forearm, left forearm. The sole of the right foot can be in front. You can release hips down if you'd like, or you can keep knees bent and just lift the hips up with the knees on the ground. So there's so many different options here. You can even do that on the wrist. But if you're lifted up with feet stacked, on the exhale, we're gonna lower the hips and release right hand down in front of the body. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. So yes, hello obliques. Do 3 more. Ooh, I don't know about y'all, but I am sweating. Probably didn't help that I did this right before this. Inhale, lift. Release right hand down, chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Whew. Let it go. Let it go in the mind, let it go in the body. See where you can relax. Gaze forward, bend the knees. On the exhale, shoot lightly, feet forward. Halfway rise. Forward fold. Rise up, Utkatasana chair. Again, big toes together, little bit of space between the heels. Sit low, inhale, lengthen the spine over the thigh. Exhale, twist to the left. And you might need to do a little work to twist from the belly. Sometimes it helps to guide yourself over. You're not hurting yourself as long as you know that it's not hurting any joints or pulling any kind of nerves. You're just giving yourself a little bit of guidance. Get light in that right foot. Big breath in. Exhale, shoot that right foot back. Choose to stay here in prayer or open up. If you're open, rotate that arm. Squeeze the back thigh. Lift the back of the back knee up. Release both hands down. Right hand on the inside of the left foot. Come through into a plank. Your version. So I gave you all the options on the other side. Maybe forearm even with the hips and knees lifted. And then we're gonna flow if you choose to. On the exhale, lower hips. Gotta lift up on my hand to find the full version. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. You fall out, that's all right. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift. Find plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. downward facing. We're going to take 5 breaths of rest. Choose to stay here or come into a child's pose. And just chill. Catch your breath. Come back. You've done amazing already. Such good work. In your own time, when you're ready, come back forward into a forearm plank with the hands clasped, knees lifted. And what we're going to do is lower the knees to a hover. Inhale, lift them up, squeeze the thighs together. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lift. Continue for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to a side plank on the right forearm. I wasn't joking when I said variations of plank. Now, choose to come into one of those softer forms. You can lower the hips, you can lift the hips, keep the knees lower, or lift all the way up. If you're lifted up, once again, we're gonna lower an inch and lift an inch. Lower an inch, lift an inch. Continue with that. I want you to be mindful that you're not sinking into the right shoulder. Really push away from the ground with the forearm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to the other side. You've got this. Keep breathing. Make the left hand into a fist. That's going to help you push away. And then lift up an inch, lower an inch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to a plank on the forearms. Once again, 10 rounds. Hover, lift, hover, lift. We got 8 more. Y'all got this. This is our last round, so push through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower to the belly. Stack one hand on top of the other. Rest the forehead on the stacked palms. Appreciate that heartbeat. Appreciate the sweat that it took to get here. Appreciate yourself for working so hard and letting go of all of that junk that you don't need to carry. And then bend the knees and just sway the feet side to side. Good, and then just roll right onto the back. Hug the knees into the chest. And rock up and down along the spine. We just have one more abdominal thing. I gave you oblique work, but I want to give you low abdominal stuff. Just one round of high boat, low boat. Come to high boat. Feet lifted. Start with hands behind the hamstrings. Check in with the low back. If you feel good here, if your back is straight, pushing up from the center of the chest, you can see about releasing the hands, palms face up. And then on the inhale, pull knees into the chest, cross the arms. On the exhale, lower to a hover, straighten legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Continue, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. In and out of the nose if possible. Relax the neck as much as possible for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ha, release down. Once again, hug knees into chest. You can find a happy baby if you like. Rock side to side. You did so well. So we're preparing for our relaxation. Just a few more postures to cool the body down. Plant the feet on the ground. We're coming into a bridge. Palms face down next to the hips. Walk the feet back so that you can tickle the heels a little bit with the fingertips. And then push away from the heels. Lift the hips up. You can bring your gaze to the belly and just observe as it expands on the inhale and contracts with the exhale. Observing with no criticism or judgment, but more so with curiosity. On your next exhale, lower down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to do one more back bend. You can choose to do another bridge, or if you feel open and if wheel is in your practice, you can take wheel now. We'll take 5 breaths in whatever form you choose. On the exhale, gently lower down. Feet wide, knees drop in together, hands on low belly. Just be here in stillness for a moment. Shift the hips to the left. Gentle twist, knees to the right. So we move our hips to the left, giving our spine space to twist. Left knee stacks on top of right. If you're really open in the hips and you like a deep twist, you can wrap left leg around the right. You can even bring the right hand on the outside of the left thigh and gently guide it down by, on the inhale, guiding that leg out of the hip socket. And on the exhale, guiding it down. So we're not forcing, so we're just helping. Almost as if you have a weighted bag on top of your hips. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. So I think we could all, as a society, as a culture, learn more about shaking off what we no longer need. Majority of us, or I think all of us as humans, we carry with us also what our ancestors carried. And so a practice like this helps us to not only release our own stuff, but also to release our generational stuff. So letting go of what those who come after us don't need to carry. So yes, it's a big goal. And yes, it is possible. You don't have to hold. And you are allowed to let go. Come back to the center. If there's anything else you need to do before you find final rest, I invite you to do it now. In the next few moments, go ahead and find your Shavasana, allowing the body, mind, and spirit to completely soak in the nourishment that you provided from your practice. When you arrive in a comfortable place, take a final big breath in. Squeeze palms, squeeze the face, squeeze the butt, squeeze the belly and the thighs, squeeze everything as tight as possible. Sip in a little bit more air. And when you can't hold it in anymore, let everything go. Just drop down, melt to the earth. Allow the body to remain still. But bring your awareness back to the breath. Notice how easily that breath flows in and out of the body. And you just give yourself a little bit of space, a little bit of calm to find that fluidity. You might come back to the intention that you set for your practice and ask yourself if it can be kept here on the mat, if you've accomplished that intention, or if you need to carry it with you. And then slowly work your way to a seat, taking your time to arrive. Bringing palms together at the heart. Keeping eyes closed or gaze down to maintain that bit of softness. And just check in. You might see how or whether or not you feel different now compared to when you first stepped onto the mat. Maybe you've reached some internal realizations or had some moments of self-reflection. And just be with that for a moment before moving into the rest of your evening. And then together, we'll take a final breath in through the nose. Let it go. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so, so much for practicing. Namaste. Thank you all.